What's going on, people? It's your boy, the Boxing Lowdown here. And once again, I'm delighted to be joined by the coach. We're going to be previewing Moses Itauma against Dillian Whyte, the big fight that's taking place this Saturday night. Really looking forward to it, man. Also got an action-packed undercard as well. So shout out to Coach in the building, man. We did a great preview and prediction video for Usyk against Dubois. And that video went down really well, man. There was a lot of good feedback from it. I could see it on my socials, on your socials. So yeah, the streets have been calling us to do this again, bro. So we're going to do another breakdown of the main event this weekend and quickly discuss the undercard as well. But how you doing, my brother? Like, how's everything good with you?
I'm good, man. Everything's good. Just back in the gym. Actually, didn't really leave the gym, but we're just walking, warming up towards. We've got developments for the amateurs, and Jermaine has a fight in October. So that's Jermaine Lueo. He's got a fight in October. And my Italian Matteo Occhionero has a fight on October 3rd. So just working towards those.
Yeah, bro. Busy. But let's get straight into it, man, because I know towards the end of that last video that we did, the Usyk and Dubois preview, I said, is there any heavyweight that's likely to take over when the old guard retire? And when I say the old guard, I'm talking about AJ, Wilder, Usyk, and Fury. When those guys go, who would be the next one to carry the torch? And what you said was Moses Itauma. Now, obviously, he's in action this weekend, and he's taken on one of the older guards in Dillian Whyte. Now, is this as black and white? I don't want to just like go straight to the end of the preview already and ruin it, but is this as black and white as everyone says it is? I mean, it's Itauma opens up as a 10-1 on favorite. What's your thoughts going into this? Are you surprised Dillian took this fight, first of all?
It's one of those fights, like, from Dillian Whyte's perspective, it's one of those fights, like, unless you're getting paid big money for it, it doesn't make sense. Like, I think you were saying, like, Derek Chisora was asking him, why did you take the fight? Like, it didn't make sense. I think there are easier fights for him to take, and you can sail up into the sunset, but no fight is going to pay him like this. I think 10-1 is, like, mad generous. That's crazy. Like, I think Dillian Whyte is a live dog in most fights. Like, there are very few fighters you put him in against and say, oh, he doesn't have a chance. And I think him being 10-1 underdog is kind of what they're saying here. I look at him, and I think a lot has been made of that Tete fight, his last fight that was in December. I watched it back, and I remember people saying he went life and death, and I don't think he went life and death. I think a lot of what it was is Tete was like a walking punch bag, so he was just soaking up a ton of damage, and it got to the point where Dillian Whyte looked like he was getting tired because he was having to keep him off him. I don't think he took much damage in that fight. Like, Tete didn't land much in there, but it was a lot of trying to keep him off him. I think, a lot has been made of that fight, and I don't think that's the fight you go off if you're trying to say this is why Itauma beats him. I think Itauma does beat him. Spoiler alert. But but I do think, like, it's a thingy. I think it's going to be a tougher fight than people are stating. I think Dillian is coming towards the end of his career. He probably is at the end of his career, full stop. That's probably why he's taking it as a cash out for him. But he's got enough to keep Itauma honest, and for Itauma to come away from this fight thinking, okay, this fight was worth it for me because I've learned something here.
Yeah. And it's been a, stop-start career for Dillian Whyte since the Fury defeat. He was out the ring for 2.5 years, I believe. Came back and he fought, obviously, Ebenezer Tete, Christian Hammer, Jermaine Franklin. So all wins, but hasn't really looked impressive in doing so. So yeah, I will say this about Dillian Whyte, though, and spoiler alert, I'm going for Itauma as well. But I will say this about him. He's in the best shape I've seen him in for years. And he understands the position he's in. I mean, I've seen a lot of interviews he's done over the last few days and weeks and so on. He knows he's the underdog. And I think he's using that to fuel him. Because you look how the shape he's in.
100%.
He looks brilliant.
He does. And I think that's exactly what you need. Like, you need something to get you going when you're Dillian Whyte, you're 37, and everyone's talking about this kid being the new guy. Do you know what I mean? You want to spoil it for him. You want to let everybody know that you're not done. You're not going to be another notch on his belt kind of thing. And I think him getting into good shape says everything. I think Buddy McGirt isn't going to let him go in there and get embarrassed, get beat up. He's not going to let him get disgraced. I think Buddy McGirt has worked really well with him. I think even watching back that Itauma fight, he did some really good work in there. Like, his jab was working. And I think that's going to be super key in this fight here. Given his southpaw orthodox, that left hand's going to be super close to Itauma. If you can get that jab working, and like his best punch is his left hook, it's going to be super close to Itauma. He lets that thing go from like that crouch position, and he throws it's like a throwaway left hook. he throws it out of a crouch, so it's hidden, you won't see it coming. That could be the key for him. You don't know, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I think like Buddy McGirt would have drilled that with him
Yeah,
constantly. So it's not as clear cut like people are making out. I think he has like he has all the impetus to make this happen for himself. And I think like I don't necessarily think he goes on the title run after this. He gets a title shot and becomes a champion and everything, but it's a little thing for him. I think more so it's for him in that people are writing him off. I saw an interview the other day where he said his own family are writing him off. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like having Derek Chisora phone you and ask you why are you taking this fight. All of those little things are in his head, and he's thinking, I'm going to show all these people. I'm going to prove all these people wrong. I'm going to let them know that I'm not done yet. Even if, like I said, he doesn't go and get a title shot and become a champion afterwards or anything. But it's just that little thing for him personally, where he turns around and says, I proved you guys all wrong.
yeah. And we know we know what sort of individual he is, man. I mean, he carries a lot of pride. Also a stubborn individual as well, man. I mean, he will definitely use that to fuel him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen some progress under Buddy McGirt, man. I've seen, we know he's been susceptible to the uppercut, Dillian Whyte, on plenty of occasions. Oof. I saw him blocking that well in his previous fight since he's been with Buddy McGirt. So it's something for him to work on for sure. And listen, we're going to talk about Moses Itauma in more detail, but I will say this, man. As great as he looks, and as he looks fantastic, he's a prodigy. He's someone that is tipped to go all the way. We haven't really seen him. I mean, he's only had 9-10 fights. We haven't seen him against anyone as experienced as Dillian Whyte. We haven't seen his chin really tested in the pros yet. So these sort of things, he's going to have to pass that gut check before we know how good he can be. Every heavyweight goes through it. So 100%. His chin could get tested on Saturday night.
100%. I think, like, before we go into like this now, I'm going to say to you now, see Moses Itauma, he is ridiculously good. And I don't think people know how good he actually is. Like, this is a boy that's never lost a fight full stop. I didn't call him a boy, he's a man, but he's never lost a fight full stop. As an amateur, as a pro, it's like crazy. He is ridiculous. Like, the stuff he can do. And people talk about, like, he moves like a middleweight and he's got good feet. But I think, like, I first heard about him, I can't remember when, but like the whole story is about him going to spar, coming in his school uniform. Do you know how crazy that is? Going to spar like Joe Joyce. Lawrence Okoli is a schoolboy. It's absolutely insane. And I think like it might sound like, oh, you're overdoing it, but like you don't do stuff like that if you're not really, really good. I think if he gets through this, I think he's probably going to be the next up. I feel him beating like Richard Torres and all the rest of them. Like he's better than all of them. Like, I think Moses Itauma could be it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want Usyk to hang around and end up fighting Itauma and that sort of thing. Like, I think he shouldn't create his legacy by beating him. Like, I get the whole thing of clearing out the error before and you beating everyone in your error, beating the error after you, like Muhammad Ali did. But like, he can make his own name off his own abilities and own skills that way. I think Moses Itauma is like ridiculously good. I think the other things that work in his favor as well is the team he has around him. I know his brother Charles, innit? I went to university with his brother Charles. But outside of like family, like Lee Wiley, for me, is probably the best breakdown guy in boxing. Like his videos were ridiculous. And then he stopped doing the breakdowns. He started working with Ben Davison and like that team there. And I rate Ben Davison as a coach as well. And I think having that team around him kind of adds a little bit more to it. Like you were talking about like Dillian Whyte, like working on blocking the uppercut. I guarantee you, Dave, like Lee Wiley sat down and showed him a million different like versions of how Dillian Whyte's been caught up the uppercut before. This is how you're going to do it. Step around and throw it. Like I know for a fact they've watched hours of video and stuff like that. Like Lee Wiley's ridiculous. Like it's a crazy team he's got around him that's going to like kind of propel him to the top. And then like you ignore the fact that his brothers are in the game as well and they box like Carroll and everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got a great team around him, I think. But just ability wise alone, for me, he's already up there. Like I wouldn't put him in with a Usyk now or anything. But like if he did go in with like let's say the step below that, the heavyweights below that, I wouldn't have no worries about he's going to get blown out. Like I think Chisora is maybe a step or two beneath that, but a gap in between. Like I personally, let's say someone like Deontay Wilder, for example, I wouldn't have any concerns about him going with Deontay Wilder. Do you know what I mean? Like I think he can more than hold his own against him. Like your Pulevs and people like that, I think he holds his own against them lot as well. Probably I'd have him to beat them lot as well. Like I think he's that good, and I think people don't know it because I was listening to Breadman Edwards, and he was talking about like people didn't know how good Terence Crawford was because wicked, another like amazing boxing man. And he's saying people didn't know how good Terence Crawford was because he didn't face anybody. But it was harder to get people in the ring with him. People were saying like someone like Canelo, he brings a mad payday. So everybody was rushing to fight him, even though they know they're going to get beaten up. But with Crawford, you're going to get beaten up and you weren't going to get that payday. But
Yeah.
he didn't need to see him in with all these elite level people. Do you know what I mean? He didn't need to see him with all the elite level people to know that he was that good. And that's kind of how I feel about Itauma. Like, I know you put Itauma in with most of these guys and he beats them up. I don't need to see him in against like the top. I can see it with my own two eyes in what he does in the ring. And that's the kind of, he's the kind of person that he doesn't just do it against low level people. He'll do it against everybody. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be, I think Dylan Whyte can give him a hard night, but just as bad, he's going to give like Dylan Whyte he'll feel every year of 37. Like every fight that he's had on, like it's going to be a long night for Dylan Whyte if Itauma gets going. Do you know what I mean? Like the way he took out Dempsey McKean, the shoot low, aim high, they catch them high on the heads, all that kind of stuff. How he took out Balogun, like he's got the skill set, man. He's it 100%.
Let me ask you this then. Was you supportive of him potentially going after Mike Tyson's heavyweight record? Do you think he would have done that? And or was you supportive of it? I mean, to do that, I guess he would have had to beat Usyk because he's got all the belts now. But that's not, like we said, that's not a fight that we were really looking at. I guess if the belts were fragmented, would you have been supportive of that?
I think he would have done it, but I think he would have found himself in that position that AJ did. That once you've got that belt, there's no more warm-up fights, no more, we're just trying to test out the water fights. Like, you have to go full throttle. And I think AJ's kind of said it. Once he beat Charles Martin and got that belt, there was no more time for him to, he's just finding his feet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's this crazy rush for people to get there and be there already. And I think, like, I think with most of the time, he's 20, he wanted to do it early, but then it throws you into that mix of being 19, having to fight, or 20, having to fight, let's say, an Usyk or a Tyson Fury. And like, you don't necessarily need that. I think good matchmaking would have seen him catch them on the way out. Like when he was trying to do it, this is before, let's say, Fury had even lost against Usyk twice or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like that fight would have made sense. So whilst it would have been a good record to have, I think more so it was for publicity. Oh, look at this guy. We've got this new kid. He's about to break Mike Tyson's record, and it would have been more for the publicity, so people get to know who he is. I think in terms of like boxing and making sense, I don't think it would have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. But let's get onto the fight itself. Then. I'm going to say this, man. I think as good a shape as Dylan Whyte is in, as seriously as he's taken this fight and the preparation, you can tell he's highly motivated, and he doesn't want to. He knows what people are saying. I can only see this going one way, bro, and it hurts me to say that because I'm a fan of Dylan Whyte. But yeah, I have to just be honest here. I can only see this going one way, and unfortunately for Dylan Whyte, I can't see him. If he gets out of the second half of this fight, I'll be surprised. And I'll put it down to his age. Obviously, he's 37 years old. The inactivity, he's been in and out of the ring. Obviously, he had 2.5 years out due to the failed test that he had there. And I just feel that he's going up against a prodigy at the wrong time, somebody that's on the up while he's on the downer, so to speak. I mean, I just think that when I first saw that this fight got announced, I was shocked. I was like, wow, Dylan Whyte is taking this. And I think a lot of people had that reaction. And I just think that the speed of Itauma and the power that comes with the speed, he knows who he's going up against. He's not going to take this lightly. He's headlining the card. He wants to make a statement. I think that this is going to be I think this is a bad fight for Dylan Whyte, man. He can be quite, in the ring, he can be quite uncoordinated at times. Like sometimes he's not the best balanced. And someone like Itauma, who is perfectly balanced, he's got terrific timing, speed, power. I think that this is it's a bad fight for Dylan Whyte, in my opinion. I don't see this going past 6, bro.
I think it's a bad fight. Yeah. I think I agree with you completely. I think this is a bad fight for Dylan Whyte right now. I think a fresher Dylan Whyte, this would have got a better gauge of where Itauma is. But that thing you just said now about balance, like often we'll see Dylan Whyte throw a shot so hard and miss that he'll fall over and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's not the person you want to be doing that with most of the time. Great balance, great feet. He glides around the ring there. So like I said, that whole thing about people talking about he moves like a middleweight. And you know what it is? Like, there's nothing worse than being in the ring and missing. Like, you get tired really quick, and he's not going to land all those shots. He was getting tired landing the shots on Tete. When you're throwing those shots and you're missing, it's a complete different story. And like you said, 37, I think Itauma's going to make him feel every second of being 37. Every single fight he's had some tough, hard fights. He's going to feel every minute of those fights. And it's like, that's the wrong person to be in a ring with. And another thing that people aren't considering as well, whilst Dylan Whyte looks in great shape, it would have taken a lot to get himself into that shape. So you've taken a lot in your training camp to get into that shape. how much are you going to have left for the fight? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this isn't the right fight for Dylan Whyte right now. Again, not taking nothing away from him. I think like there's a puncher's chance. That left hook that he throws out of the crouch, he's him that his hand's going to be closer to Itauma because of the southpaw orthodox lineup. Like anything could happen, but I just think Itauma, I think Itauma gets to him, man. Dylan Whyte has never been hard to find in terms of like your punches, and I think Itauma is not the person to be hittable against when you're easy to find. So yeah, I'm gonna go over Itauma again. I think I'd say mid rounds, Itauma mid rounds,
like 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
Do you
6,
reckon?
7, 8. I think like he'll feel out. Yeah, I think you'll feel him out early. Like I'd say like you're 4 to 8 around then. I think there'll be a bit of a feel out, and then once he gets going, because like I said, Dylan Whyte isn't hard to find. Even you'll feel like he's gonna land. He'll be landing shots, and then once he like puts he puts his foot on the gas, then it's go time, and I think he gets him out of there, man.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that, bro. I think this is a bad fight for Dillian Whyte, and I just wonder if it is a bad defeat, could that be the end? I mean, where would he go from here? I mean, like he wouldn't be in no position to have a title shot. I mean, there are still domestic fights that could be made. I mean, you've got the likes of Joe Joyce still there. I mean, they're all under the Queensberry banner as well. So you've got the Fabio Wardley. Well, he's not going to fight Fabio Wardley, of course, but yeah, you've got other heavyweights there. But you just think if he suffers a bad knockout to Moses Itauma, would he call it a day? I guess we'll find out.
I think you would. Do you know what I mean? Like he's getting a big payday. Like it will be his last big payday. I don't see like there's another AJ fight, but will AJ want to do it again after the last one got called, and the reason why it got called as well. I don't know, man. I think this would probably be it, and it would probably
Chisora,
be it for him as a big earner. So I don't know if he'd. I don't even know if Chisora would want to do it again. Do you know what I mean? Like Chisora's on a good path right now. Like I think if he loses, would Chisora want to essentially take a step back and go and fight Dylan Whyte again? Possibly because he's lost to him. But I think Chisora, for all intents and purposes, is probably en route towards a title fight. So would you take a step back and try and get the revenge and get a win over Dylan Whyte when you've got a title shot on the line? Potentially lose against Dylan Whyte and then that title shot's gone. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think this probably would be it for him.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got a great undercard as well. Before we go, bro, I just want to quickly touch on some of those fights. And another surprising fight that I wasn't expecting, but yeah, this is on the undercard. I think it's early on in the undercard as well, is Filip Hrgović against Adelaide. Now, I didn't see this one coming. Kind of came out of the blue for me. I'm assuming Hrgović is a big favorite. I mean, he's a favorite for me, but can you write off Adelaide completely? I mean, I wouldn't, but I've got Hrgović to win this.
I think I've got Hrgović winning it, but I think Adelaide's rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? Like he's gonna try and stick it on. That's Adelaide's way in it. He tries to come in, bully you before the fight. He'll talk down to you and all these kind of things as well. And I think he takes that whole like let's just rumble, let's just go for it kind of attitude into it. And I don't know, he could catch Hrgović. Hrgović may not be ready for that kind of thing. Like we've seen it. He didn't look up for it when Dubois got going. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Once Dubois got going, looked like he was ready to fold. And if Adelaide can get to him, because Adelaide can punch. If there's anything he can do, is he can punch in it. So once Adelaide gets going, then that could be it for him. But then also you have to take into account as well, Hrgović is a really good boxer, and he may just do enough to keep himself out of that. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to get caught up in any of this stuff. I'm just going to do it how I want to do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to Nick Ball against Sam Goodman, man. Nick Ball, for me, one of the bright young sparks that we've got over here in the UK right now in terms of talent, ability, and potential. I think that we saw that brilliant fight that he had with Ray Ford, one of the best fights I've seen in a while, that one. And I just love his aggressiveness, his style, his strength, his power. I mean, I've got him beating Sam Goodman probably in the later rounds. But I would say that I just think he's probably too strong for Sam Goodman, who is moving up. But I can see a good fight here. Yeah. I like the fight, but ultimately I've got Nick Ball winning that one.
Yeah, I agree. Only world champion that we've got right now, or male world champion, I say that we've got right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I've picked against Nick Ball previously, and I've learned my lesson. I think he's, like you said, he can punch. He's ready to go. He's strong, super strong. You'd think you see him, he's that small, but he can go. Like he's like a fireball. And once he gets going, he sits on your chest and lets his hands go. Like a lot of people, they kind of get, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of feel like because of his size, people get shocked. And I think obviously Sam Goodman coming up, I don't know if he'll be able to keep him off. I don't know if he'll be able to. I don't know if he'll be able to survive what Nick Ball's going to bring. So yeah, I'm picking Nick Ball
Who did you before we go on to Ray Ford and Abraham Nova? Who did you have winning that fight with Nick Ball and Ray Ford?
At first, I had Ray Ford. Then when I rewatched it, I would say like Nick Ball. No, Nick Ball did enough. I think he's just like he's tough and he's durable and he gets in there and lets his hand go. But
yeah,
I thought like I looked at Ray Ford before. Fast. I think drag. I think Nick Ball did enough.
Yeah. And Ray Ford, of course, is he is fighting on this card as well. It was originally against Anthony Kakache, but unfortunately that fight Kakache had to pull out. So he's taken on Abraham Nova here in on the undercard. Good replacement, but ultimately I've got Ray Ford winning, of course. But Abraham Nova is a decent step in, but I think that's all he will be. He'll provide a good contest, but ultimately I've got Ray Ford winning that on points.
Yeah, I think Abraham Nova was on path to doing a bit, and he's had a loss or two recently. That kind of derailed him. He comes in with that mascot, he's got a big mascot. It's just like a bigger version of him. I think he did look good with it, and then like I think now he's not necessarily like he's more of a contender rather than like before. I think people were looking at him like, oh, he's going to be a world champion, and I think Ray Ford is kind of on that path to like going back to the top after that loss. So I think Abraham Nova, like you said, is a good step in, but I think Ray Ford beats him. I think he's on a path to being a champion again.
Absolutely, coach. And just want to say thank you, first of all, man, for jumping on. I know you've got a busy schedule right now. I got a lot going on yourself. But for those who are not aware and need to find you, like let them know where they can find you, your socials, bro. Like drop a plug right here.
Sorry, you cut out. I didn't catch that last bit. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, let the people know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram. It is Coach Chudi, ETG Boxing. Yeah, so you'll see most of my stuff on there. I don't post as much as I should. I get quite a lot of grief for that. But I think, like I said, I've got a couple bits coming up in the future. I've got some boys going into the developments for England boxing. And then, like I said, my Italian's actually flying over to come and do a training camp with me in September. So he's got a fight October 3rd in Milan. And then I've got Jermaine Laweo fighting on the Matchroom card at the O2 on October 17th as well. So be out with him as well. And then after that, just a couple bits and pieces. But yeah, I should be posting more around those times.
Yeah, man, get on to Coach for posting more, man. Don't forget, hit him up on Instagram, ETG Boxing. And appreciate you coming on, brother, and dropping some knowledge. And I'm sure we'll be doing another preview video soon, bro.
100%. Thank you for having me, man.
Peace out, brother. Take care.
Take care. Bye.